the Republican senators who blocked it. Standard political theater, right? Democrat blames Republicans. Republicans blame Democrats. We've all seen this movie 1,000 times. But Mitchell didn't follow the script. When asked why the bill failed, she paused. And then she said something that made the entire political establishment freeze. She said, look, yes, the other side shares blame. But let's be honest. My party attached provisions we knew would never pass. We weaponized infrastructure, something that should be bipartisan, and turned it into a political football. The host was stunned. You could see it in her face. This wasn't the answer she expected from a Democratic governor. And what Mitchell said next was even more explosive. She talked about the highway project in her state that's been delayed for 3 years because of partisan gridlock. She talked about the bridge that engineers have warned is structurally unsound. She talked about families who've lost loved ones on roads that desperately need repair. And then she said, and I'm quoting directly here, I can't look those families in the eye and tell them their loved ones died for a good political strategy. That's the line I won't cross. Let that sink in for a moment. Now, you might be thinking, okay, so one governor spoke her mind. Why does this matter? Here's why. Because what Mitchell did wasn't just brave, it was dangerous. Dangerous to a career, dangerous to her party's narrative, and dangerous to the entire system that depends on politicians staying in line. Within hours, the blowback started. Progressive activists called her a traitor. Party leadership reportedly called her office, demanding an explanation. One prominent senator from her own party went on Twitter and said Mitchell was giving Republicans ammunition and undermining the cause. But here's what's interesting. While the political class was melting down, something different was happening with voters. Social media exploded, not with outrage, but with relief. Comments like, finally someone tells the truth, and this is what leadership looks like, flooded in from people across the political spectrum. Even Republicans, people who disagree with Mitchell on almost everything else, were praising her. One conservative commentator said, I don't agree with her policies, but I respect the hell out of what she just did. Because here's the thing. Americans are exhausted. We're exhausted by the games. We're exhausted by politicians who care more about winning news cycles than solving problems. We're exhausted by being treated like we're too stupid to see through the spin. And when someone like Mitchell stands up and just tells the truth, even when it costs her something, people notice. But this isn't just about one governor having a moment of honesty. This is about something much deeper happening in American politics right now. See, both parties are fracturing. And I mean really fracturing. Not just the usual policy disagreements. We're talking about fundamental questions of identity and purpose. On the Democratic side, you have this massive tension between the old guard moderates, who believe in compromise and incremental progress, and the new wave of progressives who see any compromise as surrender. Between working class roots and elite coastal priorities. Between people who think winning elections means listening to voters and people who think it means educating them. Mitchell represents that old guard. She's from a blue-collar family. She worked her way through community college. She knows what it's like when the factory closes and doesn't reopen. She understands that for most people, politics isn't about ideological purity. It's about whether they can afford groceries and keep their kids safe. Bew, when a governor chose principle over party. Picture this. You're the governor of a swing state. Your party just handed you the perfect talking point. The opposition has made a massive mistake, and all you have to do is read the script. Attack them, blame them, watch your poll numbers soar. But instead, you do something nobody expects. You look at the camera and say, we're part of the problem too. That's exactly what just happened with Governor Sarah Mitchell of Wisconsin. And in that single moment, she didn't just break ranks with her party. She exposed a fracture that's been building for years, hidden behind polished press releases and carefully coordinated messaging. Let me walk you through exactly why this moment matters and what it reveals about where American politics is heading. So here's what happened. Last Tuesday, Governor Mitchell appeared on a major cable news show. The host had her angle ready. The infrastructure bill had just collapsed in Congress, and the host wanted Mitchell to go